So hi, good evening everybody, and today we are working on WH questions. And yesterday we talked about all the WH questions. Today also we are working on WH questions. So before starting, I just want to tell you that we are going to do it fast. Why? Because these are a bit very simple formations, very simple formations. So we are going to do it faster. So if you have any questions regarding WH questions, or any other syllabus, you can ask me whenever you wish. So we have completed who questions, and then we have completed when, where, from where, how, why, how many, with how many yesterday we have completed, for how many, how much we have done, whom we have done, for whom we have done, with whom we have done, and today we are going to work on against whom. Today we are going to work on against whom. Okay, so against whom? Against whom do you work? I work against my friend. Okay, I work against my friend. Against whom did you? I work against my friend. I work against him. Mahesh, repeat after me. Mayanta bola Mahesh. I work against him.
I work against him.
I work against her.
I work against her.
I work against it.
I work against.
I work against you.
I work against you.
I work against my friend.
I work against my friend.
Okay, against whom did you work? Everybody is repeating after me in mute status. Against whom did you work? Bola. I worked. ओके, ऐकून घ्या फक्त आज महेश तुम्ही थोडंसं. आपण 10 वाजता बोलूया महेश. ऑलराइट?
ओके सर, ओके.
Okay, okay. Mohinesh, repeat after me. Against whom did you work? Mohinesh. Just a minute, just a minute. I will just. Mohinesh, repeat after me. Against whom did you work?
Against whom did you work?
I worked against my friend.
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 Okay, in this way, I think now everybody understood the against question, right? Because yesterday, the same we are practicing from the last a few days. So who is going to tell the questions about against whom? Against whom? Yeah, please, Amol Jagdare. One question, 5 answers. Okay, one question in simple present tense, 5 answers in this way.
Against whom do you think?
Against whom did you? Against whom do you think? I think against him.
I think against him. I think against her. I think against my friend. I think against my sister. I think against my friend. Against whom did you think? I think.
I thought.
Okay. I thought against my teacher. I think against my brother. I think against her. I think against. I thought. Sorry. I thought against my brother. I thought against my teacher. I thought against her. I thought against him. I thought against her father. Against whom will you think? I will think against her. I will think against him. I will think against our friend. I will think against my friends. I will think against his friends.
Okay, good job. Good job. Good job. Next. Yeah, Samruddhi, please.
Yes. Against whom do you write? Against whom do you write? I write against him. I write against her. I write against it. I write against employee. I write against my boss. I write against our friends. I write against his friends. Against his friends. Against whom did you write? I wrote against him. I wrote against her friends. I wrote against Ram's friends. I wrote against you. I wrote against her. I wrote against it. Against whom will you write? I will write against my friends. I will write against your friends. I will write against your friends. I will write against them. I will write against him. I will write.
Very good. Good job. Good job. Mohinesh. Mohinesh, please.
Against
Today is the last day of
whom do
WH
you fight?
questions.
Against whom do you fight? I fight against corruption. I
Kiran
fight
Dado,
against
rotate
pollution. I fight against
your screen.
corruption. I fight against him. I fight against her. I fight against you. Against whom did you fight? I fought against corruption. I fought against your friend. I fought against our friend. I fought against his friend. Against whom will you fight? I will fight against corruption. I will fight against her friends. I will fight against his friend. I will fight against her friend. I will fight against Ram friends.
Correct. Okay, next. Saurabh, please.
Yes, sir. Against whom do you run? I run against my friend. I run against her. I run against them. I run against my friend. Against whom did you run? I run against my.
I ran
against my friend. I ran against him. I ran against them. I ran against your friend. I ran against his friend. Against whom will you against whom will you run? I run against.
I will run.
I will run against my friend. I will run against him. I will run against them. I will run against our friends. I will run against her friend.
Very good. Yeah, Kiran Dado, please.
Against whom do you read?
Yeah, come. I think you are not visible on the screen. Your legs are really visible. I don't know what happened. Just fix your camera. Poonam, make the questions and answers. Kiran, fix your camera. Now it is. Yeah. Kiran, please.
Sir, today's
Kiran.
only listening in class.
Okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, Kiran, please
Okay,
make the questions and answers.
Against whom do you write? Against whom do you read? I read against
whom
friend.
do you discuss in the meeting?
Against whom do you discuss meeting? I discuss meeting against my friend.
Against whom do you discuss in the meeting? I discuss against him in the meeting in this way.
I discuss against him
in the meeting.
In the meeting, I discuss against meeting my friend.
Against her in the meeting.
I discuss against her
in the meeting. म्हणजे against नंतर my friend, your friend वापरायचं आणि मग last ला in the meeting वापरायचं. All right? I discuss against my uncle in the meeting.
My uncle in the meeting. I discuss against his friend in the meeting. Against whom did you discuss in meeting? I discuss against his friend in the meeting. I discuss against Ram friends in the meeting. I discuss you in against
you in the meeting.
Against you in the meeting.
Okay, with whom? Against whom will you discuss?
Against whom will you discuss in meeting? I will discuss against her friends in the meeting.
Correct.
I will discuss your friends
against your friend
in meeting. I will discuss against our friends in meeting.
Very good. Good job. Yeah, Sachin. Against whom do you take decision?
Against whom?
Get your mic closer to you. Against whom do you take decision? I take decision against him.
I take decisions against him. I take decision against her. I take decision against it. I take decision against them. I take decision against you. Against whom? Against whom did you take decision? I took decision against my friend. I took decision against your friend. I took decision against his friend. I
Against?
took against his friend. I
Now,
take.
against whom will you take decision?
I will take decision against your friends. I will take decision against his friend. I will take decision against her friends. I will take decision against Ram's friends.
Very good. Good job. Yeah. Mahesh, if you want to make the questions, you can also tell me. Huh? Now we are going to work for next question. Next question is about whose questions and answers. Whose it means कोणाचे. Whose it means कोणाचे. Whose mobile do you take? तू कोणाचा मोबाईल घेतोस? I take my friend's mobile. मी माझ्या फ्रेंड्सचा मोबाईल घेतो. In this way. All right. Whose mobile do you take? I take my friend's mobile. I take your friend's mobile. I take my friend's mobile. I take your mobile. I take your mobile. I take our mobile. I take their mobile. I take Ram and Sita's mobile. Whose suggestions did you take? I took my friend's suggestions. I took his suggestions. I took his suggestions. I took their suggestions. I took Ram and Sita's suggestions. Whose guidelines will you follow? I will follow his guidelines. I will follow their guidelines. I will follow government's guidelines. I will follow her guidelines. I will follow my office guidelines. In this way, we are going to work on whose questions and answers. All right, whose questions and answers. Yeah. Amol Jagdale, make the questions and answers, please.
Okay.
Whose
laptop
whose
do you
laptop
repair?
do you repair? Correct.
Okay. Whose laptop do you repair? I repair my friend's laptop. I repair.
Everybody is answering the questions. This is not a listening class. I told you many times. You are also making same question and you are also answering the same question. All right. Please.
I repair my friend's laptop. I repair Nokia, Lenovo Make laptop. I repair her laptops. I repair my brother's laptop. I repair my sister's laptops. Whose laptop did you repair? I repaired.
Correct.
Am I right, sir? Yeah.
Correct.
I repaired my friend's laptop. I repaired Lenovo laptop. I repaired my father's laptop. I repaired my sister's laptop. Whose laptop will you repair? I will repair my friend's laptop. I will repair my father's laptop. I will repair Lenovo Make laptop. I will repair her laptop. I will repair his laptop.
Correct. Good job. Yeah, Samruddhi, please.
Whose guidelines do you follow? Whose guidelines do you follow? I follow government guidelines. I follow your guidelines. I follow our guidelines. I follow my guidelines. I follow her guidelines. I follow my college guideline. I follow office guideline. Whose guideline did you follow? I followed. Yes. I followed my friend's guideline. I followed his guideline. I followed that building's guidelines. I followed office guidelines. I followed bus stop guidelines. I followed their guidelines. Whose guidelines will you follow? I will follow Sita's guidelines. I will follow Prime Minister guidelines. I will follow government guidelines. I will follow company's guideline. I will follow my guideline. I will follow your guideline.
Good job. Good job. Yeah. Saurabh, please.
Whose advice do you take? I take my friend's advice. I take your advice. I take Ram and Sita's advice. I take his advice. Next is whose advice did you take? I took my friend's advice. I took their advice. I took her advice. I took his advice. Whose advice will you take? I will take my friend's advice. I will take your advice. I will take their advice. I will take his advice. I will take her advice.
Good job. Yeah. Kiran Jadhav, please.
Whose rules do you follow? Am I right, sir?
Correct. You are right.
I follow my friend rules.
Friends rule.
I follow my father's rule. I follow my sister's rule. I follow my teacher's rule. I follow my cousin sister's rule. Whose rules did you follow? I followed my friend's rules. I followed my brother's rule. I followed my sister's rule. Whose rules will you follow? I will follow my friend's rule. I will follow. I will follow my brother's rule. I will follow my father's rule. I will follow my teacher's rule.
Okay, very good. Good job. Yeah, please. Mohinish.
Whose suggestion do you follow? I follow my friend's suggestion. I follow your friend's suggestion. I follow your friend's suggestion. I follow our friend's suggestion. I follow his friend's suggestion. Whose suggestion did you follow? I followed my friend's suggestion. I followed your friend's suggestion. I followed our friend's suggestion. I followed their friend's suggestion. Whose suggestion will you follow? I will follow my friend's suggestion. I will follow Ram and Chita's friend's suggestion. I will follow his friend's suggestion. I will follow her friend's suggestion. I will follow Nokia's mobile suggestion.
No cat suggestions. Okay, fine. Deepali. Yeah. Whose emails do you reply? Please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Whose emails do you reply in this way? Any question you can make on your own.
Okay.
Whose party do you attend?
Whose diary do you read?
Correct. Good job.
Whose diary do you read? So I read my friend's diary. I read my diary. I read their diary. I read Ram's diary. I read your mother's diary. Then whose diary did you take? Sorry, did you read? So I read my friend's diary. I read my mother's diary. I read your diary. I read Sita's diary. I read her diary. Then whose diary will you read?
Correct.
So I'll read my diary. I'll read my friend's diary. I'll read your diary. I'll read your father's diary. I'll read my father's diary. I read Ashok's diary, like that.
Good job. Yeah, Sachin, please. Sachin. Yeah.
Whose car do you drive?
I
drive my friend's car. Whose car? Did कसं था?
I drive my friend's car. I drive his car. I drive her car. Make 5 answers.
Okay. I drive my friend's car. I drive my Ram's car. I drive my brother's car. I drive my sister's car. Whose car did you drive? I drove. I drove my friend's car. I drove my brother's car. I drove my Ram's car. I drove her
my
car.
Ram's car, not only Ram's car. I drove Ram's car.
I drove Ram's car. Whose car will you drive? I will drive my friend's car. I will drive Ram's car. I will drive Sita's car. I will drive their car.
Very good. Good job. All right. Now I think everybody is done, right? Is anybody left? No. All right, fine. Now we'll go for the next question. Next question is, whose mobile do you take? So there are a lot of reflexive pronouns like mine, ours, yours. It means whose mobile do you take? I take my. In the last answer, we have talked about dependent pronouns like my mobile, your mobile, her mobile. Whose mobile do you take? I take my friend's mobile, her friend's mobile, his friend's mobile. So these all are the dependent pronouns. So instead of these dependent pronouns, we are using mine. Whose mobile do you take? I take mine. No need to use mine mobile. Got it? I take, जसं आपण मराठीत म्हणतो ना, तू कोणाचा मोबाईल घेतोस? तर मी माझा मोबाईल घेतो, हे एक आन्सर आहे. आणि दुसरं काय एक आन्सर आहे, मी माझा घेतो, हे एक आन्सर. म्हणजे दोन आन्सर आहेत ना, एक मी माझा मोबाईल घेतो आणि एक मी माझा घेतो. तसंच इंग्लिश मध्ये दोन आन्सर आहेत. आय टेक माय मोबाईल अँड आय टेक माइन. Got it? Whose book, whose diary do you read? I read mine. I read his. I read hers. I read theirs. I read yours. समजलं? मी तुमचं वाचतो. I read hers, मी तिचं वाचतो. I read mine, मी माझं वाचतो. I read theirs, मी त्यांचं वाचतो. सो एका ह्याच्यामध्ये मोबाईल हा शब्द वापरायची गरज नाही. ह्याच्यामध्ये मोबाईल हा शब्द वापरायची गरज नाही. ऑलराइट, जस्ट रिपीट आफ्टर मी. महेश, माझ्यानंतर बोलायचं आहे तुम्हाला. Whose mobile do you take?
Whose mobile do you take?
I take mine.
I take mine.
I take ours.
I take ours.
I take yours.
I take yours.
I take his.
I take his.
Whose mobile did you take?
Whose mobile did you take?
I took mine.
I took my.
I took hers.
I took hers.
I took theirs.
I took theirs.
Whose mobile will you take?
Whose mobile will you take?
I will take mine.
I will take mine.
I will take theirs.
I will take theirs.
I will take his.
I will take his.
I will take hers.
I will take hers.
Okay, got it? Okay, who is going to make the questions? But you cannot say I will take Ram's. That is wrong, huh? Because it is wrong statement. So you can say only, you can use only these words for independent pronouns. Yeah, please, Amol.
Whose pen do you take? I take mine.
Correct.
I take ours. I take yours. I take his. I take hers. Whose pen did you take? I took hers. I took mine. I took ours. I took yours.
Correct.
Whose pen will you take? I will take mine. I will take ours. I will take yours. I will take theirs.
Nice. Okay. Moinish, please.
Whose watch do you wear? I wear mine. I wear ours. I wear yours. I wear yours. I wear his. I wear hers. I wear theirs. Whose watch did you wear? I wore mine. I wore ours. I wore yours. I wore his. I wore theirs.
Correct.
Whose watch will you wear? I will wear mine. I will wear his. I will wear theirs. I will wear ours. I will wear yours.
Correct. Okay, Samruddhi, please.
Whose bike do you drive? I drive mine. I drive ours. I drive yours. I drive his. I drive hers. I drive its. I drive theirs. Whose bike did you drive? I drove mine. I drove ours. I drove yours. I drove her. I drove his. I drove its. I drove theirs. Whose bike will you drive? I will drive theirs. I will drive his. I will drive ours. I will drive mine. I will drive hers. I will drive its. I will drive yours. I will drive ours.
Okay, Saurabh.
Whose power bank do you use? I will. I use mine.
I use.
Yeah, I use mine. I use ours. I use yours. I use hers. I use his. I use theirs. Whose power bank did you use? I used mine. I used ours. I used yours. I used his. I used hers. I used theirs. Whose power bank will you use? I will use mine. I will use mine. I will use ours. I will use yours. I will use his. I will use hers. I will use theirs.
Correct. Kiran, please.
Whose diary do you read? I read mine. I read our. I read yours. I read his. I read her. I read it. Whose diary did you read? I read mine. I read our. I read her.
Her, not hers. Ours.
I read hers. I read
हर्स
his.
हर्स हर्स आहे हे लक्षात ठेवा. हर डायरी आणि हर्स डायरी मध्ये अंतर आहे. हर डायरी इज अ डिपेंडेंट प्रोनाउन ऑन डायरी अँड हर्स इज अ इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोनाउन. ओके. माझा मोबाईल आणि माझं यामध्ये अंतर आहे ना मराठीमध्ये. हा माझा मोबाईल आणि हे माझं आहे. अंडरस्टँड इन दिस वे.
I read hers. I read. I read hers. I read its. Whose diary will you read? I will. I will read mine. I will read ours. I read his. I read theirs. I read hers. I read it.
Correct. Deepali, please. Deepali, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Please. Whose? Okay. Whose dictionary do you buy, or whose book, whose newspaper do you read, or whose question do you answer? Anything.
Whose question do you answer? So I answer my friend's I answer mine question. I answer.
Mine question is wrong. You have to use directly.
Yes.
I answer
your questions, or
no.
I answer
Only yours. Yeah, that is also correct. Your question is also correct. But here we are going to work on independent pronouns, So you are using this. In the last question, we worked on dependent pronouns like your question, her question, his question, their question. But here now we are working on independent pronouns like mine, ours, yours.
Okay. So I no need to add question word.
No, no need to add the question there.
Okay. So I answers.
I answer only, not answers. I answer mine.
Okay, I answer mine. I answer yours. I answer his. I answer hers, or I answer theirs.
Correct.
And whose question did you answer? So I answered mine. I answered yours. I answered his. I answered hers. I answered theirs. Then whose answer will you?
Whose question?
Whose questions will you answer? So I'll answer mine. I'll answer yours. Sir, we cannot speak like that. Then I answer of mine, or
no. That is a good friend of mine. That is the different.
I answer of his, like that.
No. I answer of his, not. I answer his.
Okay. I answer his. I will answer.
And if you
his,
want to use
I'll
that, you can
answer.
use in this way. Like I answer questions of his. I answer questions of mine. I answer questions of yours. Okay. I take decisions of him. I take decisions of hers. I take decisions of theirs. In this way you can use.
Okay. I'll answer of you. I'll answer yours. I'll answer mine. I'll answer hers. I answer his. I'll answer theirs.
Very good. Good job. So these pronouns, it means they are placed. They are replaced by the common nouns. So answer is a common noun, and they are replacing it mine. All right. Yeah, Sachin, please. Sachin, are you there?
Yes.
All right, fine.
Whose laptop do you use? I use mine laptop.
Mine laptop is wrong. I use mine only.
I use mine. I use mine. I use ours laptop. I use
ours laptop is wrong. I told you. हे लक्षात ठेव, दोन प्रकारचे प्रोनाउन्स आपण बघितलेत. मागच्या आन्सर मध्ये आपण काय वापरलं? माय लॅपटॉप, अवर लॅपटॉप, युअर लॅपटॉप, हिज लॅपटॉप, हर लॅपटॉप, इट्स लॅपटॉप, देअर लॅपटॉप. देअर्स नाही, देअर लॅपटॉप. अंडरस्टँड? अँड हिअर इन दिस क्वेश्चन वी आर आन्सरिंग इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोनाउन्स. जसं मराठीमध्ये असतं की तुम्ही कोणाचा लॅपटॉप वापरता, मग त्याचे दोन आन्सर आहेत. एक, मी माझा लॅपटॉप वापरतो. मग माझा लॅपटॉप म्हणजे इंग्रजीमध्ये काय होतं? माय लॅपटॉप. आणि एक होतं मी माझं वापरतो. तुम्ही कोणाचा लॅपटॉप वापरता? मी माझं वापरतो. सो मी माझं वापरतो म्हणजे आय यूज माइन. मग मी माझं वापरतो, त्यामध्ये आपण माझं मध्ये लॅपटॉप हा शब्द वापरतो का? नाही. मग त्याला माझंला काय म्हणायचं? इंडिपेंडंट प्रोनाउन. आणि माझा लॅपटॉपला काय म्हणायचं, डिपेंडंट प्रोनाउन. तर मराठीमध्ये एकच शब्द आहे त्याच्यासाठी, परंतु इंग्लिशमध्ये दोन वेगवेगळे शब्द आहेत. व्हॉट इट, इंग्लिशमध्ये माय मोबाईल होतो आणि माइन होतं फक्त. व्हॉट इट. सचिन प्लीज. Whose laptop do you use? I use mine.
Whose laptop do you use? I use mine.
Mine.
I use mine. I use ours laptop.
No laptop. No need to use the laptop.
I use ours. I use yours.
Correct.
I use yours. I use his laptop.
His only.
I use his.
I use hers.
I use his. I use hers. I use its. I use theirs.
Theirs. Correct.
Whose laptop did you use? I
used.
I used
Mine.
Mine. I used mine. I used ours. I used yours. I used yours. I used his. I used hers. I used its. I used theirs.
Correct.
Whose laptop will you use? I will use mine. I will use yours. I will use yours. I will use his. I will use hers. I will use its. I will use theirs.
Correct. Good job. All right. So in this way we talked about whose question. Now which question? Which it means konta. Out of two. It means there are a lot of varieties, and out of those varieties then we have to use which म्हणजे कोणता, कोणता, कोणती, कोणते. That is which mobile do you take? I take Apple mobile. So Apple or Samsung. So Apple you. So names of the things. You are adding the names of the things here. Which mobile do you take? I take Apple, I take Samsung. In this way a lot of companies names. So you know this answer. So we are just you are just going to give me only three answers. Which mobile do you take? Which mobile did you take? Which mobile will you take? All right. Yeah, please, Saurabh, start. Which dictionary do you read? Which newspaper do you read? Which article do you write? Which mobile? Okay, which products do you sell in this way? Anything.
Which newspaper do you read? I read Times of India.
Okay, which newspaper did you read? We don't want more answers today now.
Yeah,
because,
which newspaper did you read? I read. I read Times of India. Which newspaper will you read? I will read Times of India.
Good job. Yeah, nice. Moinesh, please.
Which watch do you wear? I wear fast track watch. Which watch did you wear? I wore fast track watch. Which watch will you wear? I will wear fast track watch.
Okay, Amol, please.
Which food do you eat? I eat Maharashtrian food. I eat South Indian food. I eat Chinese food. Which food did you eat? I ate Maharashtrian food. I ate Chinese food. I ate South Indian food. Which food will you eat? I will eat Maharashtrian food. I will eat Chinese food. I will eat South Indian food.
Very good. Kiran Jadhav, please.
Which vegetable do you eat? I eat palak vegetable.
Leafy vegetables, you can say.
Which vegetable did you eat? I ate leaf vegetable. Which vegetable will you eat? I will eat leaf vegetable.
Leafy vegetables. Very good. Samruddhi, please.
Which dress do you select? I select Western dress. Which dress did you select? I selected Western dress. Which dress will you select? I will select Western dress.
Very good. Sachin.
Which bike do you like? I like sport bike. Which uh, uh, which uh, which bike did you like? I like the sport bike. Which bike will you like? I will like sport bike.
Very good. Good job. Moinish.
Which laptop do you use? I use a
Lenovo
Samsung.
laptop. Dell
I use
laptop. Huh?
I use a Dell laptop. Which laptop did you use? I used a Dell laptop. Which laptop will you use? I will use a Dell laptop.
Very good. Deepali, please.
Yes, sir. Which book do you read? I read Life's Amazing Secret book. I read science book. I read Swami Vivekanand book. I read English book. Then which book did you read? So I read Life's Amazing Secret book. I read Swami Vivekanand book. I read science book. I read computer book. Then which book will you read? So I'll read Life's Amazing Secret book. I will read Napoleon Hill's book. I'll read mathematics book. I'll read English book. I'll
Good
read.
job. Yeah. Samruddhi, are you done?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now in which? This is the last question we are going to practice. In which? So in which it means names of the places. In which academy do you study? I study in Inspiring Academy. In which academy did you study? I studied in Inspiring Academy. In which academy will you study? I will study in Inspiring. In which standard do you study? In which school do you study? In which company do you work? In which hostel do you live? In which hostel do you stay? In which city do you work? In which language did you appear for the exam? In which medium did you study? Understand? So here we are going to make the questions and answers now. Amol, please make it faster.
In which station do you stay? I stay in Pune station. In which station did you stay? I stayed. No? I stayed
correct.
in Pune station. In which station will you stay? I will stay in a Pune station.
Very good. Deepali, please.
Yes, sir. In which company do you work? I work in Accenture. Or in which company did you work? I worked in Accenture. In which company will you work? I will work in Accenture.
Very good. Saurabh.
In which college do you study? I study in VIT. In which college did you study? I studied in VIT. In which college will you study? I will study in VIT.
Very good. Samruddhi.
In which course do you study? I study in MPH. In which course did you study? I studied in MPH. In which course will you study? I will study in MPH.
Very good. Kiran.
In which theater do you watch movie? I watch in Lakshmi theater. I watch movie in Lakshmi theater. In which theater did you watch movie? I watch movie in Lakshmi theater. In which theater will you watch movie? I will watch movie in Lakshmi theater.
Very good. Mohinish.
In which bank do you work? I work in Bank of Baroda. In which bank did you work? I work in Bank of Baroda. In which bank will you work? I will work in Bank of Baroda.
Good job. Sachin, please. Unmute yourself.
In which company do you work? I work in Cognizant company. In which company did you work? I worked in Cognizant company. In which company will you work? I will work in Cognizant company.
Very good. Good job. All right. So in this way, we talked about all the WH questions, understand? But now important is only we have talked about you, understand? We used only one subject, that is about you subject. But now I am going to give you, we are going to practice only questions with different subjects, because this world is full of subjects. We should talk about all the subjects. We should not talk about only one subject. Understand? So now you understood what is the formation of the questions, how to ask the questions, how to answer the questions. And now we are going to practice this all questions with a lot of subjects, Understand? So just repeat after me the formation of the say questions. Like I'll just give you in I group. I group, it means I, we, you, they, Ram and Sham. Ram and Sham, it means more than two people. More than two people, like Ram and Sham, Mahesh and Soham, Geeta and Suresh. And he group, it means what? He, she, it, and Ram. He, she, it, and Ram. Ram, it means one person. Ram, it means one person. Okay. So you know that formation. I'm just going to revise that formation. Just repeat after me, everybody. Do you, did you, will you? Okay, Deepali, repeat after me. Do you, did you, will you?
Do you, did you, will you?
What do you, what did you, what will you?
What do you, what did you, what will you?
Are you, were you, will you be?
Are you, were you, will you be?
What are you, what were you, what will you be?
What are you, what were you, what will you be?
Have you, had you, will you have?
Have you, had you, will you have?
What have you, what had you, what will you have?
What have you, what had you, what will you have?
Have you been, had you been, will you have been?
Have you been, had you been, will you have been?
What have you been, what had you been, what will you have been?
What have you been, what had you been, what will you have been?
Got it? So do you, did you, will you first form?
Do you, did you, will you first form?
Are you, were you, will you be ing?
Are you, were you, will you be ing?
Have you, had you, will you have third form?
Have you, had you, will you have third form?
Have you been, had you been, will you have been ing?
Have you been, had you been, will have you been ing?
All right. So now we are making the question. So this is the formula. Do you, did you, will you? Are you, were you, will you be? Have you, had you, will you have? Have you been, had you been, will you have been? This is the formula. Now you can make the questions. What do I write? What do we write? What do you write? What do you write? What do they write? What do Ram and Sham write? This is for I group formula. Okay. What did you write? Okay. Sort of repeat after me. What did I write?
What did I write?
What did we write?
What did we write?
What did you write?
What did you write?
What did you write?
What did you write?
What did they write?
What did they write?
What did Ram and Sham write?
What did Ram and Sham write?
What will I write?
What will I write?
What will we write?
What will we write?
What will you write?
What will you write?
What will you write?
What will you write?
What will they write?
What will they write?
What will Ram and Sham write?
What will Ram and Sham write?
What will, okay, in this way, what am I writing? What are we writing? What are you writing? What are you writing? What are they writing? What are Ram and Sham writing? What was I writing? What were we writing? What were you writing? What were you writing? What were they writing? What were Ram and Sham writing? What then same. What what will I be writing? What will we be writing? What will you be writing? What will you be writing? What will they be writing? What will Ram and Sham be writing? Okay. What will he then? What have I written? What have we written? What have you written? What have you written? What have they written? Please repeat after me. Please repeat after me. Only do not listen to the lecture, because if you listen to the lecture, then it will be like not useful for you all. So please keep repeating. What have I written? What have we written? What have you written? What have you written? What have they written? What have Ram and Sham written? Then what has he written? What had I written? What had he written? What had you written? What had they written? What Ram and Sham written? What will I have written? What will we have written? What will you have written? What will you have written? What will they have written? What will Ram and Sham have written? What have I been writing? What have we been writing? What have you been writing? What have you been writing? What have they been writing? What have Ram and Sham been writing? What has he been? Okay. What had I been? What had we been? What had you been? What had Ram and Sham been? What will I have been? What will we have been? What will you have been? What will Ram and Sham have been? All right. So in this way, we are going to work on a lot of subjects tomorrow. Tomorrow we are working on all the WH questions with lot of subjects. So you will not face any confusion in WH questions to make the WH questions. All right. Are you enjoying?